Lenny for the LMS Extra Show.
And then I also have to ask about, inviting people to interviews that, obviously must have been very emotional for them.
The genesis of the project, I love the music. That's where I come from. I think I made another film before about Albert Eiler. It took me 7 years. I was finished in 2005. And I remember saying to myself that I would probably not do another jazz-oriented documentary again because I know that it's a lot of work. And being a filmmaker, I was working on some other projects. But I think it's 7 years ago now, I watched some YouTube. And then I suddenly saw this fantastic, amazing clip with, that is at the end of the film, with Lee playing with our Blake and Jazz Messengers. It's from a Japanese TV studio, it's from 1961, and they're playing Bob Dylan's compositions up there. And it was, of course, the whole performance of the whole group, but it was Lee's solo there. The tone, of course, but how he really communicated something that moved me deeply. And I remember I was kind of watching that on repeat for many days, really. And from there on, because before that I only know about Lee Morgan as the man who did Sidewinder. And at that time, I mean, I loved a lot of the music in the Blue Note catalog, but Sidewinder, it wasn't really my music at that time. So then I realized that there was another Lee Morgan that was this enormously talented communicator, really, in jazz. And I started to listen a lot of him, and I found this Search for New Land record that I really loved, and I found so much fantastic music, and I realized that I was trying to see if there was possibility to make a film. And yeah, that's really the start of it. And then I've noticed that there was quite a lot of people that were close to both Lee and Helen that were still alive, many of them. And then starting to meet them, it kind of immediately, when I met many of them, we started to talk about the last 4 years in Lee's life, the years he had together with Helen. And of course, I mean, I know from the beginning, as a very music-interested person, I know that I think many of you also know that Lee was, I mean, he made Sidewinder and then he was shot by a woman, but I did not know who she was earlier, and I just know there was someone who killed him that might have been his wife or a girlfriend. I didn't know. But when I met up with those people, many of them started to, I mean, that's what's in the film really, they started to talk about Helen in a very loving and passionate way. And they also told me that she had saved him. I didn't know that. So the project kind of navigated towards that relationship between Helen and Lee finally. Yeah.
And I mean, a key engine of the movie, kind of one of its emotional centers, is that audio recording. And that's, I mean, it's almost a piece of music in itself, just listening to the voice. I mean, how did you go about incorporating that and playing that off the other voices and the music in the movie?
I mean, Larry is sitting here, Larry and Thomas, who made that interview. We should be very grateful that he did that. Fantastic man, Larry. Thank you, Larry.
Give a hand of Larry, everybody.
We're gathering at the Empire Bar, so if you want to have an address, it's just nearby.
It's in the same area, right?
Same area.
But it was snowing that night, yeah. So, but I figured that, okay, it's going to be hard to recreate.
Okay. So I should put that in there?
Well, we're back. rudely interrupted and said, "Get out." Everyone got so involved with Lee Morgan. And Larry, question. How many cities has this film been in already?
I think it was in Italy. It's been to Toronto. It's been to Colorado.
Okay.
I think when it leaves here, it's going to London.
Okay. What was say in Toronto? What was the audience reaction to it?
Awesome. He got a standing ovation. He told me he got a standing ovation in Venice. He's an artist in his own right. No question.
You know, I noticed when we were on the extra show, those numbers were coming in pretty fast.
Yeah, because it's an untold story. It's an exclusive story. Nobody has the story. Nobody has it.
And you had the exclusive.
Well, it just fell in my lap.
Fell in your lap, huh?
Yeah, I didn't. I'm a historian, and I knew it had to be recorded for historical reasons, historical significance.
They were mentioning that. But I was watching the film. They say he was kind of cocky in his own way.
I never met him, but that's the impression I got from the people who did know him. I mean, he was discovered at the age of 16. Somebody said he started playing hot like that at age 12.
Wow.
So I think at that age, that would go to anybody's head. You know what I mean? If you're playing hot licks at 12, and then you improve at 16, I think he joined Dizzy Gillespie at age 18. So he was a teenager.
He was out at one point. He was trying to outdo Dizzy Gillespie, though.
Oh yeah. He got tried to outdo all of them. Every jazz trumpet player that was on the scene. Miles used to come to all his concerts. He was a phenomenal individual. Very talented. Very talented. So I enjoyed it. I was watching your reaction. You had their shades on, but I was noticing your reaction. Seeing something that something that you put together in a big way, and it's on the screen. Yeah, like I said, never in 1,000 years would I have ever thought that the interview that I conducted with her would have been turned into a movie. I never thought that.
Some people write books. There's a lot of people write books all the time. They don't get turned into a movie, or they get or somebody accepted for a movie. It sits on somebody's shelf.
Yeah, well, like I said, man, I'm still floating on this. But it's a part of what I do. Like I said before, the only thing I've ever tried to be is a gentleman, a scholar, and a servant of the people. And this is a part of serving the people, as far as I'm concerned. I'm just serving the people and trying to expand people's mind to let them learn more about life, how things can just happen.
But also to Helen Morgan, in her way, in a big way is
Susan, don't go anywhere. I'm coming. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna be with you.
That's okay. In her way, like they were saying, she lifted him up after he had this drug addiction.
Yeah, that's the virtue of the whole thing. That she saw a way that she could lift this guy up, and she did.
And she saw potential in him too.
Oh, no question about it. Hey, Paul, talk to Paul.
Hello to you.
Paul West.
I enjoyed your interview.
Thank you.
He was actually sitting at the table.
Yes, talk to me.
When Helen was shot.
Well, tell us about us. Tell us about my brother.
Pardon me?
Tell us about that. When you were at the table.
Well, this is that when I had her coat, and she was outside in the snow.
Yes.
And my lady said to me, Helen is outside in the snow, but take her your coat. And as Helen was coming back in, I was on my way to give her her coat, and right in the middle is where Lee was, and that's when the shot. So I was like 10 feet away.
You were very good friends with him. How long you knew him?
With Lee?
Yes, with Lee.
Lee and I were two babies in Dizzy Gillespie's big band of 1956.
Wow.
We joined the band at the same time. He was 18, I was 22. And we had a long standing relationship.
his death, were you very? I know you were very sad.
Oh, I was.
And you were actually there, right?
I was at 5 feet away. I was there when I was on my way to give her her coat when she stopped and shot.
Lee Morgan, what do you remember about him?
Oh, he's a brilliant young man, brilliant young musician. When we first met, he was clean, dapper, gentleman, funny, like your kid brother, like a little lovable kid brother. That's what he was like.
Also, too, I want to ask you about Helen. We were just, Larry and I was just talking.
I had a great deal of respect for her.
Why?
I admired her greatly because she was the person who, when Lee was at his lowest ebb, picked him up almost literally out of the gutter. He was hanging on 126th Street behind the Apollo Theater when he was really, really ill. And she found him and brought him home and scrubbed him down and made him a man again. And provided him with an opportunity to be the creative artist that he was.
I thank you so much.
Gotta go.
Okay, I thank you so much.
Right.
And also, too, we'll be in touch.
You got my number.
Okay, now.
Call me, man.
Okay. From Manhattan, this is Lenny for the LMS Extra Show.